You and I both know that the anti-woke gremlins of the community are not going anywhere anytime soon, and just ignore them has never worked for literally anyone in the history of ever, but laughing at them sure does make me feel better, so let's just have a giggle and an aneurysm at the same time, shall we?
Welcome to hell, motherfucker!
I'm trying to reach 100k subscribers by the end of the year, so if you enjoy this content and want to stay up to date, you know what to do. Now, you might think that Monster Hunter Wilds is an incredible game that lots of people love. I was certainly under that impression, but what you don't know is that it's actually riddled with the woke cooties for, let's see. Overtly pro-DEI, subtly pro-climate action, subtly pro-LGBTQ+, and subtly pro-immigration messaging. See full review for spoilers. Don't mind if I do.
New NPC is modern androgynous woman design. Male and female can wear each other armors, so we will see either men in bikini, or they will tone down armor into unisex design. This is probably be the weakness of Japan. Their games are hardcore liberal.
Well, that really doesn't give us anything beyond woman not sexy enough, but thankfully someone else came in with a more detailed list of what sins Monster Hunter Wilds has committed. According to them, it has an artificially diverse cast, in a fantasy setting, because the main supporting characters are all female, one of which acts like a leftist straight out of a Western University humanities program, and the other looks and acts like a girl boss. By which they mean that Alma, the player's handler who helps them on missions and stuff, is a nerd who's interested in learning about things, and Olivia makes them feel inadequate because look at this knightly paladin woman and tell me that she wouldn't treat you like an absolute princess. And I do include men in that because they too should know what it feels like to be a princess. They go on to complain that nearly all the NPCs are POC, which is just a weird thing to notice and focus on in the first place. Personally, I'm not checking every NPC in the game to see if any of them have a skin tone darker than Pantone 727. You will drag OSP's Lovecraft episode out of my cold dead hands. Also, protecting the ecosystem is bad, I guess, because screw the environment. I don't want clean air and water. I'll drink crude oil if it owns the libs, I assume is the logic here. Specific moments of interest. Oh, I'm very interested. Now, I will pause here to say that this gets into spoilers for the game, so if you don't want that, then, move along. All good? Alright. Alma and the player character are given a secret. I apologize if I pronounced that wrong. The bird raptor mounts that players can ride around on in Wilds, with the phrase, "I've never met more deserving and capable riders." And that's apparently pro-DEI messaging, as if it isn't the most basic bitch run-of-the-mill expected trope that the player character of a given game is considered capable and impressive. Ah, wait, shit, he also said that about Alma and she has tits. Ah, fucking god, the hiring quotas have struck again, Jeremy! Did you know it's pro-immigration to develop a taste for another country's food? Because a character comes to like cheese after being outside their homeland. The monster.
Alma remarks on the biodiversity of the forest with the line, "Incredible, so much diversity," and according to the game's website, she's a cultural anthropologist and avid archaeologist. Her fascination with the forest's biodiversity seems strange unless she's based on a tree-hugging leftist, like her appearance suggests.
These people hate education. Curiosity is as much a sin as empathy to them. How dare you be interested in how things work? Get in the locker, nerd!
Not to mention, it's subliminal messaging that diversity is always good, and more diversity is better than less.
How are you making Alma's scientific interest a pro-DEI thing? What the fuck? But that is not the dumbest reason the game isn't recommended. Did you know that it's pro-LGBTQ+, to develop parthenogenesis, the act of reproducing asexually, by creating a clone of yourself, which is commonly found in reptilian species like, say, a wyvern creature? On one hand, is it surprising that the Arkveld laid an egg if it was previously established to not have any reproductive functionality? Perhaps. Is it possible that given the right environmental pressures that a creature's atrophied physiology might bounce back in unexpected ways? Yes. But no, that's some gay shit, get it out of here. But don't worry guys, if Monster Hunter Wilds is compromised, you can still play good safe games like Lonely Mountains Downhill. Honestly, it looks fun. I'm just surprised they didn't mark it down for letting you customize the rider as anything other than a white dude. Oh god, Jeremy, they've done it again!
They added a body slider instead of male or female. They added type X voices instead of male or female voices.
That's all it took to ruin the game for you? A UI change? Good lord. Also, for the crowd that loves to say, he's just trolling, it's just a joke, can't you take a joke? They're awfully upset about the existence of Cookie Cutter, a dark comedy Metroidvania game with neat 2D graphics because...
The main protagonist is a female robot. In the opening scene, the scientist created her and they fell in love already. What the fuck? And this game includes violence. That is insufferable. I can play Postal 2, and this is still too much for me. I didn't continue this game, but according to comment, the guide of the protagonist is her vagina.
So anyway, if that sounds like the game for you, it's available on Steam. I can't promise it's perfect, but it seems wacky at the very least. Also, pretending to be confused or alarmed over characters being in love already or falling in love too quickly when Thor and Jane Banner in the MCU fell in love over a long weekend is extremely funny to me. People falling in love too quickly happens all the goddamn time in media. Is it realistic? No. But are they going to act this way over a man and woman being immediately into each other? Of course they aren't. The Mute House? I haven't heard of that, but...
FBI, open up!
Let's go. What the hell? I have to find her.
Emily, what are you doing? Let the department handle the case.
It's been almost a week. You know what the odds are to find someone after that.
You just...
I'm the big sister, Curtis. I should have been there to protect her.
You don't have to blame yourself.
Wait, this is just Resident Evil. Like 1996 Resident Evil, where you could play as either Chris Redfield or Jill Valentine. I thought these nerds loved older games for not being woke. How is it woke if it's just copying what your precious classic games did?
Aside from the normalization of female police officers, despite issues regarding their effectiveness versus their male counterparts, I think it's worth noting that in 1999, only 10.7% of police officers in the US were female. Furthermore, from what I can tell, all the enemies in this game appear to be male.
So, so 1 in 10 police officers were female, right? That's what, like, 10% out of 100 means? Which means they existed, but you're also mad that the enemies are all dudes, so 10% isn't enough to justify a female protagonist. What percentage would you need to justify female enemies, I wonder? Just real curious about that.
Is Hollow Knight Silksong woke? I know that Hollow Knight had a mild amount of virtue signaling, and I was wondering if Silksong would do the same as the first.
How is a game couple virtue signaling? They just exist in the game.
Cool. I don't remember asking for your opinion. I was asking about the second one having virtue signaling. Don't even bother answering my question, because I do not want to hear anything you say. You follow a cult's ideology like the good little sheep that you are, even after science has proven that your ideals are delusions.
Daddy, chill.
Batman Arkham Knight is woke? Damn.
Contains subtly pro-LGBTQ+ messaging. A voicemail from Kate Kane reveals she is getting married to her female fiancé, and a member of the militia mentions his other half is a male civil rights lawyer.
Kate Kane? As in Batwoman, and you're surprised that she's getting married to a woman. Alright, sure.
Arkham Knight gay militia. In a recent Arkham Knight playthrough...
Wait, hold up. So you've played this game more than once. You've played it more than once. This open-world Batman game, and you hadn't run into this line of dialogue before, but this is what ruins this game you've clearly enjoyed enough to play more than once?
I ran into dialogue between two military soldiers. One mentions how his girlfriend left him due to being a mercenary, and the other mentions that he has a husband who is a human rights activist and believes he is on a business trip. I don't know if it's just me.
It's just you.
But this feels wildly out of place.
Would it have felt wildly out of place if the random militia NPC talked about his wife so that you weren't immediately forced, I say, to think about a manly dude bouncing on it crazy style? Like, if that's what happens, that is a you problem, dude.
It really sours the game for me.
These people can't be serious.
Thanks, I'll add this to the game as informational.
This is so cringe. Guilty.
That's all I have in me for today, but I'll be sure to do this again at some point in the future. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment down below for the algorithm gods. Special shout out to my YouTube members and patrons who are all very handsome people. If you'd also like to be called a very handsome people, you can support what I do here or check out the link in the description. Members and tip jar patrons get their name in the credits, while patrons of the nerd tier will occasionally get behind the scenes content and video teasers. If you enjoy live streaming, I can be found over on Twitch, where I typically stream every Wednesday at 8 PM British time. For now, don't forget to drink your water, take your medication, be kind to yourselves, and I will see you all next time.